I have always loved the Vortigaunts. Even during the first Half-Life, when we unfortunately killed these creatures in droves, I sensed that there was something more to them than simply being unwitting soldier slaves. The Vortigaunts are a highly spiritual species. Steeped in their own deep mysticism, the Vortigaunts come across as a very wise, highly evolved and ancient race. In comparing them to other fictional and real-life groups, I would have to say that they're a bit of a cross between Buddhist monks and probably Jedi Knights from Star Wars. The Vortigaunts were absent from Episode 1, but from Half-Life 2 we certainly had the opportunity to learn about these creatures. The dialogue of the Vortigaunts in Half-Life 2 was somewhat ambiguous, but occasionally specific to a certain act when they were directly providing us with assistance. But for the most part we did not get a strong sense of feeling from the Vortigaunts. Their presence in the game seemed merely like an addition rather than an integral part of the experience. Now this has changed dramatically for Episode 2. The Vortigaunts have gone from an arbitrary presence to being one of the pivotal roles in the story, and in fact we would not be able to survive or proceed without them. And from the standpoint of the story, it seems likely that humanity would not be able to resist the Combine without their aid. Louis Gossett Jr. lent the Vortigaunts a fantastic voice in Half-Life 2, providing them with a gritty and deep personality completely in tune with the species' traits. I was sorry to see that Gossett did not reprise his role for Episode 2, but if anyone was suited to carry on the torch, it was Tony Todd, who does an absolutely fantastic job of providing the voice of the Vortigaunts. I could not say enough good things about his performance in this role. I do not think a better choice could have been made in casting Todd. I mean, I think if I had never heard the Vortigaunts speak before, in my imagination I do not doubt that this is very close to what they would sound like. The Vortigaunts do not give themselves names, as they seem to share a collective consciousness with each other that transcends mere individuality. They visualize their own individual lives as simply a part of the greater life force known to them as the Vortessence. But because I'm human, I more or less tend to think of the individual as important, and therefore I simply refuse to call this fellow who rescues Alex the Vortigaunt. His, and I'm assuming he's male, his name is Cecil. I know what you're wondering, how do I know that his name is Cecil? Well, look at him. I mean, he's quite obviously named Cecil. I absolutely love this part when Cecil calls out to the other Vortigaunts in the area for aid in his own language. The sequence is very remarkable and a wonderful addition to the game. It never fails to give me the chills when he makes this mournful, wailing call. Cecil explains to us that we need to escort Alex into the nearby mines where he and his companions may have a chance to heal Alex. Gordon has not travelled through mines and caves since the first Half-Life, and I'm glad to see this environment return for Episode 2. These claustrophobic, maze-like surroundings offer unique styles of gameplay not available in more open areas. The caves in particular in Episode 2 are quite beautifully rendered and offer some interesting and unique visuals, both the naturally occurring caves and those carved by the antlions, which to me quite closely resemble the inside of Yoda's dwelling from The Empire Strikes Back. Caves in real life are utterly pitch black, filthy, damp, uninviting and cold, so it's great to experience that same environment in a virtual setting from the comfort of your own home. Soon after entering the mines, we discover our first new creature, the antlion larva. Now, we've seen antlions up to this point, so it quickly occurs to us that these grubs are indeed the larval stage of the antlions. They appear to be blind, just like their adult counterparts, and they possess the same 6 legs. These grubs are actually rather cute, in a way, and they make lovely squeaking and chirping cries. But despite being cute, however, the overwhelming urge is to smash them, even before you find that you can do so. Smashing them is a very gratifying experience, as they make a wonderful squishing noise. I guess you also have to think of it as pest control, as taking care of them now, while they are still young, is far better than letting them grow up to be deadly. When I first encountered grubs in the caves, the first thing I thought was, why isn't Barney here to help me smash these things? Now, where is Barney, anyways? No one has mentioned him, and I wonder if he managed to escape City 17 on the train after all. Anyway, I like to pretend he's here with me in the caves, though he doesn't actually do much. He looks like he's in very bad shape, and is severely depressed, traumatized, and sleep-deprived. He says nothing, though he does keep looking over at those grubs like he wants to do something but isn't quite sure. I hope Barney is in a better place than this and is finally able to get some sleep. It's probably actually better that he's not here with me.
Oh, shit!
We also swiftly run into a new kind of antlion that glows in the dark and spits globs of acid in our faces. The grubs and the acid antlions are wonderful additions in my opinion, specifically because by episode 1 I was becoming very curious about the biology and life cycle of the antlion, and in some measure in episode 2 we do learn a great deal more about these very things. Now, I wrote an email to Sir David Attenborough asking him if he would narrate a 5-minute nature documentary about antlions, but no one wrote me back, can you believe it? So I guess it's up to me. Antlions closely resemble Earth's Hymenoptera species of insects, that is, bees, wasps, and hornets. The antlion guards are the queens, ruling the hive and laying the precious eggs. The acid antlions are the worker drones, caring for, defending, and feeding the vulnerable young until they are old enough to fend for themselves. Life is hard for the antlion young, and few survive to adulthood, many becoming prey to predators such as zombies and scientists. These little fellows did not quite make it, yet because of their death the circle of life continues in the wild, ensuring already limited food and water will be available for their stronger, surviving brethren. One of the achievements in episode 2 is to smash every single grub in the game, but excluding blasting the gnome into space, this is the one achievement I have not yet been able to, to achieve. I'm always short 7 grubs. Those things are crafty little buggers. I wonder where the other 7 are hiding.